everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Christine. It is so hot here that I'm in my bathing suit because it's the only thing I have, like a tank top that has my, back open. Oh, you can see a tattoo. But it's, waves of heat coming off. So I'm going to do my wrap up for the last 2 weeks because last week I just could not get a chance to film. And this is my first time today, and it's like 4:30 in the afternoon. My life has changed again. I'm no longer an embroidery tester because she is going on a different route in her life. She's still going to be putting out designs, but we're not testing for her anymore. When she does come back full time, I'll go back with her, but in a way it's a good thing because it saves up some time for me, or frees up some time so that I can do my sewing for my dolls and get those on the other Etsy shop. Make up my samples for, this shop. So it kind of works out because I've been contemplating not necessarily leaving, but trying to find a different kind of balance that I was doing. So that being said, more books will probably get read now, even though I've been reading a bit more this summer, like back to my usual quite a bit. Yeah, things have changed again, so that's life. So the first book I read was Fantasy Lover by Sherilyn Kenyon, or at least the first book I can remember reading. It is a book about, I'm not going to say two friends, but it's one friend that is trying to get the other one to have a relationship with somebody because she's just stuck on the one relationship that she had a couple years before, and the guy was a douche. So she is a tarot card reader, and she finds this book, and there's this handsome guy in it, and they get drunk, they do this incantation, and lo and behold, he shows up, and he is a love slave. So he is there to do anything you want for 30 days, or from full moon to full moon. And so whatever you want, he'll do it. She doesn't want sex because she's doesn't want to sleep with somebody she doesn't know. So he's kind of dumbfounded. He's never had that situation in 2,000 years. And so it goes on from there. It was good. I gave it a 4. And then I read, oops. I had to return them all, so I don't have them in front of me. This is book 1 in the Braddock Black series. I had issues with it at first. I eventually gave it a 3 because it did turn around by the end. But the beginning, I've never read a historical romance where the man is sleeping with multiple different women before he meets this character, and then I wouldn't say he's with another woman after he meets her, but it's kind of mentioned, so I can't remember if he does or not, but he's pretty much a man whore, essentially. He will sleep with anything that walks. He's even slept with 2 like sisters-in-law. But this is the 1800s, and he's a Native American, and he's going to university. He's very sought after. He's very by all the women, and it's just not realistic. The 1800s, Native Americans didn't have that freedom. So her father is trying to buy his land for gold mining, and he's bought up the whole entire around his area except for his 2 plots, and he wants them because supposedly it's a good vein of gold. He says no. So his daughter decides, well, I've spoken to him before. I'm going to go talk to him and I'll convince him to go your way, Dad. Things happen. And they kind of go, you know, it does get better at the end, but a lot of the stuff, like he calls her every name in the book, and he just treats her like a piece of dirt. And she just says, okay, bang me. Like, no. So I kind of had issues with that. And then I read, yeah, it's expired. So I can't really remember this one. It's book 1, The Prince Catchers. I'm sure I gave it a 4. But I'm trying to remember what it's about. Wow. There's construction going on, so there's trucks going back and forth. Is this the one where he's a Highlander? No. Oh, wow, I can't remember. Let me just check real quick. Because I've read so many books, I can't believe how many books I've read in the last couple of days. Oh, there's that other one. He's a ship's captain. He's blind in one eye, that's right. He's got a covering. He had just, there's 3 sisters. And, oh, wow. I gave it a 4, and now I can't even remember it, and it was just last week. Bribe, infuriating, arrogant, and undeniably irresistible ship captain. Then kiss her senseless on a beach, battle thieves at his side, and exchange wedding vows with him even under the direst circumstances. Wow, I can't remember the specifics. Like, I remember little bits and pieces, but specifics I can't remember. I know she's on the boat with him, traveling somewhere, and then it's hard to see. And then he finds out that he's the next duke, and he has to produce an heir because his stepmother or his cousin is pregnant. And if she's never carried a pregnancy all the way through, she's lost every baby she's carried. And if this one's a boy, then he'll inherit. If it's a girl, their other cousin, I can't remember. So he needs to produce an heir. I know that, but he's not really focused on it. Yeah, and I can't quite remember her story. I know she's very caring towards kids, and that's the reason she needs to be on his ship, because she helped these 3 boys get to their father, and her trunk of supplies went on the ship previous, and she had to book passage on his ship, and that's how they met. And I'm trying to think of what else. There's a little bit at the end, like little twists in that, and yeah, and it's her brother that is trying to what's the word? Make things go in her favor. That's what it is. So there's little twists. I remembered finally. So I think that is it for this. Wow. Then I also read Shatter Me. No, read Falling for His Proper Mistress by Tessa Radley. This one is it book 1 or book 2 in the Jareds? Book 2, I think. Guy Jared, it's been 49 days since he saw her. They were at a gala, wine gala, and she walked out. No, sorry, she was living with him. She walked out. You find out why later. His business partner has something to do with that. He thinks she's a gold digger and he didn't have enough money for her, so she went with his best friend, business partner, and it's a misunderstanding. Did I give this a 3 or a 4? She ends up working at the Jareds because she's a wine tester. She knows how to match wines with the recipes, or like the food that's being offered at the estate, or not estate, the lodge resort that the Jareds own, and he's the chef. And he had promised to cook a meal for her, and he never did. It explains why. So I gave it a 3 or 3, I think. And then I finished, I read Shatter Me by Tara Mafi. I gave it a 3. I don't know why everybody loves Warner. I like Adam. Warner's a putz. It's dystopian. The one thing I found about this, you don't find out how it became dystopian, or a dystopian world. It's just they talk about the reestablishment, that food is pretty much poisoned, and they want you to follow their rules. It starts off with her being in a insane asylum and hasn't spoken to anybody in 264 days. Then all of a sudden she gets a cellmate named Adam, and then things progress from there. It's very slow at the beginning, which I don't mind, but nothing really happens until the last couple of pages. So I gave it a 3. And then it also includes the novella Destroy Me. So I read that. And a lot of people said that they started falling for Warner after reading that one and leaving Adam by the wayside. And I still don't like Warner. The little novella is about him and his father, right after the events of Shatter Me. And his father is a goof, and he says that he hates his father, but yet he's doing the exact same thing as his father's doing. So I've had other people tell me that it's their favorite series. I'm hoping it gets better. So far it's a 3 for me. And then I read, is that all I read? Oh, no, Zombie Elementary. That's what it was. Oh, and Sleigh Bells. Oh, too many books. So I read that one first. Oh, come on. No. Okay, I read Sleigh Bells in the Snow by Sarah Morgan, and is it book 1 in the series? I'm not sure. This is for my summer romance book bingo. It's to read a book in the Christmas holidays, or winter holiday. And this is about a woman who's so very workaholic, hates Christmas, and is been given this job to try and make this ski resort more up and coming because it's going bankrupt. And so she figures, okay, I'll just hide out in a cabin in the woods during the Christmas holidays. I won't have to deal with it, and I'll do my job and it'll be all cool. Well, Jackson has something to say about that one. And he says he pretty much shows her that you can't show or make people want to come here unless you experience it yourself. So she gets to do figure skating, skiing, downhill slalom, cooking, and she gets immersed into their family, and things go from there. It is really good. I gave it a 4, 4 out of 5 stars. Love the characters. It was so, at first you just want to throttle her because she absolutely hates Christmas. There are reasons that it goes into, but you really don't find out until the end exactly why she hates Christmas. And she's a Brit that's been transplanted from London to New York, and this takes place in, is it New England? Somewhere around there. But yeah, and then the moose. They bug her about the moose and the bear. So yeah, it's really cute. The characters are great. And then I read, I read quite a few. So I had to bring this one back as well. This one was as well, I can't even find it. There we go. It's a middle grade. It was for a book, for actually both of them, for my Triple RC and my Summer Romance book bingo, for yellow on the cover, and it's a bright yellow. It's really hard to see. And it is by Howard Whitehouse, and it's about 10-year-olds in school. They're the only ones that can see zombies, and it's they talk about the school cafeteria food, how it's nasty, and yesterday's meatloaf gets turned into tomorrow's hamburgers or meatballs, and then the day after this hamburgers, and they have to hunt zombies. The adults aren't mentioning it at all. Things are happening. I don't know if I would have even liked it. Like, I gave it a 3, but I don't know if I would have liked it even as the target audience. It's more for boys. I just wanted something quick, easy, something that would fill the categories. And yeah, it wasn't even that funny. Like, I mean, there were bits and pieces, but yeah, it's what it is. And I think that is everything that I've finished reading this week. Yes. Currently reading. I am currently reading No Place to Run by Maya Banks. It's book 2 in the KGI series. It's Sam's story with Sophie. They are in Mexico, and they are looking after this gun runner, like the arms dealer. So they're trying to make a deal with him. He, finds a woman that he kind of falls for and has fun while he's in Mexico. And then she leaves. They say that they're probably never going to see each other after the last time. She leaves. I don't know if I want to say that much, but it's like the first couple of chapters anyways. Something happens, and she goes into hiding for 5 months. He goes back to try and find her, can't find her, she's disappeared, and 5 months later, she shows up, but things are happening. And of course, there's another thing that happens. Like I said, I don't want to go into too much detail. I love these books. They're really great. I love the characters, the brothers. They are constantly feuding with each other, but they love each other. The parents are constantly overbearing, and yet they let the kids go for, like, their 30s and 20s and 30s. It's really, really good. Like, it's a page turner, and the characters are wonderful. I love them. They are just lovely. I'm also still reading Countering His Claim by Rachel Bailey. This is about a woman doctor who took care of a patient on this traveling cruise ship, and the patient has died, and it starts out with pretty much meeting his nephew and the reading of the man's will, and they both inherit 50% share in the boat. He wants one thing done with it, she wants another. They're trying to convince each other their own story, like, wants. And then, of course, I'm still reading Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, and I'm about halfway through. Loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm looking forward to reading some more of this, and continuing on with the read along from Sarah's Create Your Own Readathon group. on Goodreads. All the links will be below. Um, yeah, I'm loving it. If anybody knows of another type series that's like this one, let me know, because I would, oh, I just, yeah, I'm loving it. The thickness doesn't bother me. Thick books don't bother me. I love them. There's so much world building. There are so many like characters. But yeah, and I absolutely love Jamie. Like, yeah, I love him. I'm still not a fan of Claire, but I love Jamie. So, going to read. I'm still trying to pick this one up, The Wicked Heart by Christopher Pike. I will this week definitely pick it up because I want it gone. It's going to be a quick read. It's just one of those old young adult horror that I can usually read in the afternoon or so. And then I want to get going on these other 4 to finish off the Summer Romance Book Bingo. And there's another book that I just got on how to misbehave, and I can't remember the name of the author, but it comes as a oops, oh, what is it? Well, that's weird. It's not in here. Comes as like a box set. There it is, the Camelot series, and it is by Ruthie Knox. Very bottom. And it's How to Misbehave is the first book. So it comes as a bundle. That's what it is. And then, of course, The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, Kathy Reich's Deja Dead, or Linda Lale Miller, Montana Creed's One and Logan. That is the weekly wrap-up for this week. I'm thinking of doing vlogs now that I got a better phone. And so we shall see how much I can get, or let's see, if I do vlogs, I'll probably review the books, instead of doing these weekly videos where I sit and review. I will kind of review them as I go, and then every week I'll post the vlog, so it's kind of like a weekly wrap-up, but it's as I'm reading them, so I might be able to get better footage or better descriptions or reactions, stuff like that. So we'll see. The kids go back to school the day after Labor Day, and I can now start doing videos for my other channel for my sewing and get that going. I had to borrow a machine because my big one's kind of broken, and we're trying to get that fixed, and then we have to get our big bay window fixed because it got cracked. So once school starts, things should be okay, but if I have to make a trip to Ottawa to bring my machine to get fixed, then we'll make a trip to Ottawa, because it's too expensive to ship the machines. They're like $400 one-way trip. We can go to Ottawa and back for $400. We have places to stay and people, like, so a couple of tanks of gas is not going to hurt. A lot cheaper anyways. Anyways, I'm starting to babble, so it's time for me to go. Let me know if you've read any of these. Again, if you know of a series that's like this one, let me know, because I will gladly read them. And I think that is it for today. I will talk to you later, and I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Bye.